All right. Okay. So we watched the video that was here, and the law of cosines can be used when you know two sides and the angle between them. So you basically, and they call it side angle side. So if I have a triangle here, I know this angle, let's say, and then this side and this side. Okay, so you can't use law of sines here because you don't have an angle side pair. So then you have to default to the law of cosines. Okay.
Sine is when you use, like, you have that.
You gotta have a, so if I know this angle, I have to know this side, right? I need that side angle pair.
Okay.
Yeah, where this, you don't have it.
Okay.
But you can also use it when you know all three sides. So if you know all three sides of a triangle, you can use it to find an angle that you want to know. So we're going to do two of the same ones. This is the law of cosines written to show if you want to find side A, side B, side C. But if you look at the pattern there, basically if you want to know side A, you got to know angle A. Right? If you want to know side B, you got to know angle B. Makes sense. This is the side I want to know. I need to know that angle that goes with it. Okay? So you can usually write it out with any letters, and then the rest stays the same. It's the other two sides added together, each squared, minus 2 times the other two sides. So it's just, if you have A here, then you got to have B and C here. Right? Because you don't know A, so you can't have it there. Right? And so the pattern is the same, no matter what side you're using. It's a good idea to write out the formula using the letter of the side you want to find, just so that you put things in the right place. Although it wouldn't matter if I flip these around or flip these around, because it doesn't matter which one's A and which one's B.
Yeah.
Or C in this case. Okay, so here we're given a triangle, and it says determine the length of CB, that's this CB, or another name for that is side A, right? This is side A, to the nearest meter. So they gave us the two sides and the amount. So we want to find side A. So we basically want to use this formula right here because it's for A, right? So I have A squared equals, I'm just going to write out the formula. And then you just plug in the numbers. And away you go. We'll solve it. So we have A squared equals B squared, 32 squared. Oh, yeah. 32 squared. C is 40 squared minus 2 times 32. Do you see where I'm getting the numbers from?
Yeah, I see it.
And then times 40 cos of A, which is 58 degrees. Now we can put that in our calculator and get a number. So I just put it in there.
Pretty sure I got the wrong answer, but maybe I'm not supposed to put it all into one.
Oh, no, all one like that. Did you put it in like that?
Yeah, that's how.
Okay, but that equals A squared.
Or wait, I put it in. Oh, A squared, so you gotta square root it after.
Yeah,
Okay.
like Pythagorean's theorem.
Yeah.
So here's A squared equals, I haven't hit equals, is that what you got?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going, that's way too big.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
1267.406, we'll just go dot dot dot. Now, because that's A squared, like you said, we need to take the square root. So I can just do that on the calculator, second function square root, second function answer. because that just puts that number back in for me. And enter, and I get A equaling 35.6, which we round off. It said to the nearest meter, so we would round that off to 36 meters. I'll use the term that they used.
That's a lot easier than what I thought it was.
No, what we saw in the video was how did they get the formula.
Okay. That's good.
It was a proof. Yeah. So you just plug it in and get the answer. The next one we're going to have to do some manipulating because we're going to find an angle, so we have to get the angle isolated.
Oh, okay.
So it gets a little bit more complicated after that, but okay, so we'll look at the next example. So here it says the diagram shows the plan for a roof with the support beam ED parallel to AB. The local building code requires that the angle formed at the peak of the roof, that's here, fall within 70 to 80 degrees so the snow and ice will not build up. Will this pass the local building code? So this is what we want to find. We want to find this angle. Right? We know all three sides, but we want to find that angle. So I'm just going to redraw the triangle just without that support beam in it so I can see what I'm doing a bit more.
How do you know that it's angle?
At the peak of the roof.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I know, because that's the peak of the roof. Yeah. And this is our question mark. I'm just gonna write my sides out. B is equal to 20 feet. A is equal to Oh, okay, 19, it's not point, it's 19 feet 6 inches, that's right. And this is 10 inches, or 10 feet, sorry. There we go. What do we have to be careful here? That's not all in feet, is it?
Not all in one unit.
Yeah. So what is that in feet?
That's not a thing of horrible. That is the conversion.
Oh, we're doing that at the end of the year.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
I thought this was the last thing.
No, we still have two more lessons of trig and then 2 more lessons of conversions.
Oh, great.
So, what is 6 inches though in a foot? How much of a foot is it?
I don't even know.
You don't know how much? There's 12 inches in a foot.
Oh, okay.
So 6 is?
It would be 0.5.
Right. So in order to write this in feet, you write 19.5 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just want to have everything in the same units before you start. Otherwise you're not going to get the right answer. Okay. Now, what we want to do is find angle B. So we need to use the cosine formula that has angle B in it. And that's the one where you have B squared is equal to, and now it's just the other letters. A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cos B. And this is what I want to find. This is what I want. This is my unknown right here. This is what I want to find right here. Because then that will give me the angle, right? So, let's get rid of this here. So you want to find this, so therefore you need to isolate it. or what we call solve for cos B. Like solve the equation for cos B.
Okay.
Now, I personally think it's easier to do that with just the letters and then plug the numbers in when you're done. Because when you put the numbers in, it gets a little confusing.
Yeah.
So basically, we need to just get this by itself. So we got to move everything else over that we got. Okay, so we're just going to do some algebra now. So to move these over, I just need to subtract them, right?
I just noticed. I took 2 of your highlighters.
Okay.
I'll give them back at the end. Sorry, I just noticed that I accidentally took 2 of those.
Yeah. So we're going to just subtract a squared and subtract c squared so they can move from here and then do the same over here.
This doesn't matter about the squared though, like it's still.
No, it's just, you take the square with it.
Okay.
So minus a squared minus c squared. I got to do the same here. Minus a squared minus c squared. So here I'm just going to rewrite it out. Let's use this. I get b squared minus a squared minus c squared equals negative 2ac cos b. Okay, this is still what I want to isolate, so I'm going to just kind of put a box around that. Think of it as an x and this as a number, basically. Now what do I have to do?
Get rid of the 2ac.
Yeah, and what's the 2ac doing to the cos b? What's happening here? Right, so the opposite is?
Dividing.
Divide. So we need to divide that. So we're just going to take this, divide it by negative 2ac. These will cancel out, right? And do the same here. And now I have the formula. Now if you look in the textbook, they flipped it all around so you didn't have a negative on that side, but I don't think that's necessary. You get 2 negatives, you divide, get a positive number when you're done. So this is simpler. So now I can just rewrite the formula, and I can put cos b over here if I want, equals now I just plug my numbers in and solve. So I'm just going to put my numbers in now. So I have cos of b equals, b is 20, right? 20 squared minus a squared, which I have 19.5 squared, minus c squared, which is 10, all divided by negative 2. And it's always these last 2 times 19.5 times 10. Just do the math. Remembering though, if you want to do that one step, you'll have to put brackets. So you divide the whole top by the whole bottom. Or you can just find the top number, find the bottom number, and then divide.
That's it usually.
That's less mistakes are made if you do it that way.
Yeah.
So we'll do it that way. So just find the top number. So cos of b equals negative 80.25. And then we'll find the bottom number. Negative 2 times 19.5 times 10. Negative 390. And now you just divide those two numbers. And I didn't worry about negative signs because I know my answer is positive. And you get a big long decimal because this is still cosine of b. How do I get B? Just angle B.
Divided.
Nope.
Do a second function.
Yeah. So now I just need to do the second function. If I leave that in there, it's going to equal cos -1. That's inverse function of this number, 0.20576. Blah, blah, blah. But I can do inverse cos, and then I'm going to do second function answer again. That way I don't have to punch all those decimals in, and it puts the whole number in there. In bracket. And then equals. And I get angle B equaling, say 78, we'll say 0.1 degrees. And so now I need to answer the question though. What the question asked me to do. So what does it need to be between?
70, 80.
Is it between 78? Yes. So. So it will pass the local building code because it's between the 70 and the 80. And basically the same pattern for this here. Here's the formula for an angle. You might want to highlight that. If I wanted to find cos of angle A, then this would be A, and this would be BC, and this would be BC.
Oh, so it's just like finding out.
Yeah, so that it's because the pattern is the same in all of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then same, if this was C, then this would be C, this would be AB, and this would be AB.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the same
So
pattern.
it's like another formula, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or you just have one and label your triangle accordingly. I mean, there's lots of different ways of going about it.
Okay.
And then if you have triangles that are labeled not ABC, you could just relabel it if you want, if that makes it easier for you.
Okay.
But I mean, the same pattern, or you could rewrite the formula using the letters they've used. Either way works.
Yeah.
It's whatever you find easier. So there's some questions to try. And that's all we're doing today, so it should give you time to catch up on some other stuff too,
Okay. Yeah.
hopefully. And then, yeah, we're just going to move on doing some more problems tomorrow. So it's just no really new information. I'm just going to do some other problems just to get you experience doing problems.
Okay.
Yeah, like word problems and using the trait to find the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, this worked.